It's the Poojie Podcast, proudly sponsored by Cimarron Golf Club. What is going on, Pooj crew? Thanks for being here for episode 99 of the Poojie Podcast, one away from the big 100, but we're here to talk a little bit of golf for you. If you have any questions about the British Open coming up or anything related to golf, feel free to leave us a comment. We'd be happy to answer while we record. If you're listening after the live recording, feel free to leave it in the comments on YouTube or shoot us a DM or message us, whatever, if you have questions about it. But we're going to jump into it. A lot going on in the world of sports. Would wish we could fit it all into one episode. I'm going to welcome the golf guys on now. We got Kyle and Chase here as well. Guys, thanks for being here.
Thank you, man.
Of course. Kyle, do we have you? All right, we might need to go with without Kyle for a second. But Chase, how's the golf game been for you? Kyle, we got you back. You're good. Chase, how's the golf game been?
It's been going well. I've just been having like off the tee yips, so it's just been getting off the tee box. Been scoring well. Other than that, even playing, making 4 shots and scoring 5 will add up real quick. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it adds up quick. John Rahm learned that last week in the Scottish Open. He missed like 2 3-foot putts that kind of put him out of contention, and it's crazy that a 3-foot putt counts the same as a 300-yard drive. But that's the beauty of golf. Kyle, how about you? Getting out on the golf course at all?
Yeah, I've been playing a decent amount lately. Got the putter grip, so that was big a couple weekends ago. Got poison oak on the course, so that was fun.
Jeez.
Or some sort of poison, I don't know what it was. But, yeah, playing nonetheless.
There you go. Always great to get out, especially this time of year if you can avoid the weather. There's been some crazy weather recently through Central Florida all the way up to Jacksonville, obviously, after that storm came through the Tampa area. And I'm not talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning, who just claimed their second Stanley Cup back-to-back. That storm came through as well, but that'll be for a later episode. But, guys, British Open, 4th and final major. First of all, do you guys call it the British Open or the Open Championship? What do you guys prefer?
The Open Championship, I think.
Open Championship? Yeah, it sounds a little bit more prestigious when you say that.
Yeah, and it could be I guess England is in Great Britain, but still just, it can be in Ireland or Wales.
The crazy thing about what you just said is this is the first course that ever hosted the Open Championship outside of Scotland. And this is the 15th time that this course has hosted it. Like, obviously the Masters hosts, Augusta National hosts the Masters every year. But I wonder, I need to look this up. How many what's the most frequent course that's been used? Maybe Pebble Beach or something like that for a major in the United States.
Yeah, that's not the Masters.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, but none really comes to mind. Obviously, they play at Augusta every year for the Masters, but obviously for us here in America that love golf, this is going to be an interesting sight to the eyes. Not typical for us. Did any of you guys watch the Scottish Open or even the Irish Open the previous 2 weeks?
Caught a little bit of it. The wonderful thing about the British Open is I'm excited to wake up at 4:30 because you get to, hop on the Golf Channel and catch all the coverage for the week. So, unlike getting up for work at 4:30 or 5:30, I'm actually excited to get up and watch some golf.
It's amazing, right? Your body can wake up when it's something you want to do. It's so funny how that works. Kyle, what about you? I know you got some good plans coming up for the British Open.
Yeah. Watch some of the Irish and then definitely the Scottish because there's some big names in it. But I'm going to be watching it early in the morning. Kind of like Chase said, easy to wake up and just kind of lay on the couch and watch our morning golf.
Yeah, it's the way to go, and it's one of those golf tournaments that golf fans. It's easy to get into if you're not a huge golf fan because you can watch all the action. And a lot of other golf tournaments, you have to have special subscriptions and all this stuff to actually be able to watch all the action or at least featured holes and stuff. But this is great. I'm excited to be able to go all the way through. Now, I know we've done tier rankings before of the majors, but 4th and final major of this season. Actually, I think it's considered like the 6th major of the season right now because I'm pretty sure that the British or the Masters and I want to say the U.S. Open last year were considered a part of this current season, even though they were in last year or something. I was reading something weird about it, that there was actually 6 majors on this tournament schedule for this season. but this is the first British Open in 2 years. It's the last major that we're getting back to post-COVID. A few notable golfers not making their way. A Masters winner, Hideki Matsuyama, not going to be there. You also have Bubba Watson, former Masters winner a few times, not going to be there. Kevin Na, not going to make it. And then Sung Jae Im and Siwoo Kim, I know, fan favorite Siwoo, not going to be there preparing for the Tokyo Olympics coming up. So other than that, still a huge field of great golfers, and probably a lot of golfers none of us have ever heard of, or a lot of the casual fans would not hear about. But hey, they're out there to defend the title for the British Open and stuff. So Chase, we'll start with you. What are you looking forward to for this week, for this Open Championship?
Well, this is actually one of the more unique courses they play during the Open Championship, because a lot of those links courses, they go back and forth. The fairways kind of touch each other. For instance, at St. Andrews, the 1st and 18th share a giant fairway. Out here, it is just straight and away, so the further away you get from the fairway, the further you're getting into the muck. So if it gets windy out there, it can cause these guys to have a lot of issues. So I'm interested to see how they're going to be able to combat the elements during the week, because you know how it can get on the coast of England.
Yeah, it'll get messy out there. Kyle, what about you?
Yeah, I like these because you're not going to lose balls like in penalties, like water and whatnot, like in front of the green or anything. It's just kind of all over the course, like Chase said. If it's windy, you're just really losing strokes just trying to get on the green or keep the ball on the green. So it's kind of fun to see.
Yeah, I feel like there's a very small margin for error with this type of tournament, with links golf in general, which kind of plays into some of the favorites in this tournament. Players that kind of typically play in those environments are obviously going to have a little bit of a better chance, but also the terrain is just crazy. Watching the Scottish Open last week, you don't realize how sloped a lot of these fairways are, how thick and dense some of this rough is. So you have to think like that type of stamina is going to come into play when it comes down to it, trying to be able to actually make it through 4 days of golf. That kind of plays a factor when it comes down to the overall 4-day tournament. Any notable guys that you're looking forward to watching? We'll get into our winners and so on in a little bit, but any guys you're kind of excited to keep your eye on this week?
I like Victor. I'll keep an eye on Victor Hovland. It'll be his first Open Championship premiere. It'll be his first event that he's played in, this major anyway. So I'll be interested to see, since he's European descent, he might be able to put something together. I mean, this tournament and this golf course in particular has made some long shot winners in the past. Darren Clark, the last time it was here. So anyone can come from any point at anywhere in the golf tournament and just come and scoop it.
Yeah, and we saw, you mentioned Darren Clark. You saw Richard Bland a few weeks ago with the U.S. Open kind of making a run at it. It feels like golf is trending in that direction. We saw Phil Mickelson win the PGA. We've seen these older guys kind of come out of nowhere and win, and we kind of get lost in all the young guns and all the, the up-and-coming stars, that there's still guys out there that have played for 25-plus years on the tour, and they still have a great chance just from the experience standpoint. So sometimes their course wisdom can outweigh some of the strengths of some of the other games. Obviously, Richard Bland fell off. He actually played pretty well in the Scottish Open this last weekend. He was in the field. That's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for how some of those guys that played in the Scottish Open, how that tournament prep kind of gets them ready for the British Open. You're looking at, obviously, John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler's another one. Morikawa played in it. A lot of guys skipped the Rocket Mortgage Classic here in the States to go over there and kind of get a week's prep in, because they just can't find that type of condition or that type of course here in America. Kyle, what about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with some of the older guys. I think a course like this, where you are getting some bounce, the hills, or the fairways are so wide or long that they don't necessarily have to bomb it. They can maybe get some extra trick and roll and kind of hang with some of the younger guys. Interested in watching Victor, like Chip said, just because it's his first one. And then Matthew Fitzpatrick, who I've liked for a while now, and he just hasn't kind of broke away, but he had a good round last week at the Scottish Open, or a good tournament. So him, and then Jordan Spieth too. He's been playing good, but kind of hasn't been making noise the last month or two. But I feel like he's due to finish in the top 5 in a big tournament here soon.
Two biggest question marks for me, to be honest, right now. Tommy Fleetwood, obviously, on home turf, he hasn't really played up to his standard recently, but he's a guy always to look out for, especially in this type of format, playing in England. And then also Rory Mcilroy, who obviously almost any sports fan knows that name. Someone I'm looking at as well, because he's finished top 5 in 3 of the last 4 British Open championships. Missed the cut at Portsmouth or Port Rush. Was it Port Rush 2 years ago? Port Rush. So he missed the cut there, but before that he finished, I think I have it here, 4th, 5th, and 2nd. I want to say it was. So I'll be interested to see how he kind of performs going into the British Open. It'll be kind of crazy to think. Now, out of those older guys that we kind of mentioned, anyone stand out? Kind of one of the more experienced guys, maybe that makes a run at it, like maybe like a Bernard Langer, someone like that always kind of finds his way into the weekend.
I wonder if Langer's playing.
Langer, I think Langer is playing, but like, does Phil Mickelson, does he even stand a chance here? Like, is there any chance for any of these older guys to compete, or is it going to be the young guys running away with it?
And Stuart Sink, I see on here, 125-1.
Yeah, so. Stuart Sink's another good one too. That's a good call. Or any guys that you think are going to stumble. Maybe some of the favorites are the more well-known golfers like like a Bryson DeChambeau. I know this his game. I mean, it could fit any course, but I also think Bryson DeChambeau, his game also doesn't fit every course, depending on how his tempo is. Chase, did I just take something from you?
No, I was going to say I faded him just because of the course. I mean, it's not set up for bombers this week. It's a par 70, just under 7,200 yards, and he's just going through a caddy switch. So
yeah,
it's something.
Yeah, that was weird. Did either of you know more about that whole caddy switch situation from last week?
All I heard was from all the inside reporters from ESPN and stuff, and they were saying that he was just not treating his caddy like as good as he should have or whatever. And something I also saw was did you guys remember that Brooks interview where he scoffed because he was walking behind him? Supposedly it wasn't because he wasn't walking or making any comments, it's because he was berating his caddy.
Oh. Really? And Brooks just wasn't having it with the whole caddy slander.
Correct.
Jeez. Hey, honestly, knowing DeChambeau, Kyle, I know you're a DeChambeau defender. You're leading the charge with DeChambeau. I'm not surprised at all to hear that there was maybe a little scuffle between him and his caddy. Would you all right, did either of you guys watch the match with Phil Mickelson, DeChambeau?
I caught a little bit of it.
Yeah. Did that make you think any differently of DeChambeau? Did you hear any of his comments, or good or bad, or whatever? Like, what were your thoughts of that total event coming away from it, I guess, with DeChambeau and Mickelson?
I'd say he was trying too hard because he was, had the limelight. But I mean, it's good to see those pros get out there and have a good time with guys that don't play golf usually, like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. But I mean, he put on a good show, especially coming on the back nine. Him and Aaron Rodgers closed the deal out. But he looked like he was playing well. But then again, Montana is Coast of England, so we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, right? But hey, honestly, that elevation in Montana was insane.
Yeah.
You see Tom Brady stick that drive to, I don't know, 8 feet?
It's crazy. Like, that was awesome. That was awesome to watch. Those events are really cool, especially for the sports fan that doesn't necessarily know golf as well, to watch. I know they've done it before. I know Steph Curry's been involved. I do want to ask this question, kind of put you guys on the spot as far as that kind of event goes. If you had to play a foursome, you got to pick 3 people in the world of sports to play with, 3 athletes. I'll start it off to give you guys some time to think. I haven't really even thought about it myself. Number 1 for me, just out of pure love for the guy, is going to be Blake Bortles. I think it'd be so fun. I don't even know if he's good at golf. But I could just see that guy being really fun to play with. Man, if I had to pick 2 more, I should have thought of this earlier today. I would go Dave Portnoy from Barstool. I don't know if he plays golf either, but I feel like him and Blake would be a fun 2 guys to play with. We'll keep it at that. 2 guys. What about you, Kyle? 2 guys that you would play with?
Well, Portnoy's not an athlete.
But in the sports media world.
Okay. Well, then Big Cat and PFP if they're on the table. But
yeah,
but I was thinking Bortles too, actually, just because UCF and Jaguars, and I know he's a partier and he's fun to play with. And I think that MPFP would fit in well just because they love Bortles. So I guess that's the four right there.
That's a good foursome. Scott Van Pelt would also be a funny one. He's classic.
Yeah.
He's keeping ESPN afloat right now. Chase, what about you? You got any guys in mind?
Of course, I'll have to say Michael Jordan would be my number one. Let's see. Can I pick a golfer too?
Yeah, go for it.
Phil, because I'm lefty. That's always been my guy. So
there you go.
MJ, because they like to gamble. And then let's see who else. Let's pick someone. Let's go with Bo Jackson.
Okay.
That's a good deal.
That's a good group.
That's the first real group.
Yeah, right. That's like we actually know that they can play golf and are competent in the sport, not just for social aspect.
Yeah.
But I like how you prefaced it with they like to gamble. So
yeah, man.
That's
like to play. Yeah.
That's what you're going with. Well, you'd win some money. I've seen some of your shots on Instagram. I've seen you playing a little bit on Instagram. Well, guys, speaking of gambling, let's get into some picks, some winners, top 5s, top 10s, top 20s. We'll start with top 20. Kyle, if you want to kick us off with a top 20 pick for the week.
Yeah, this is kind of going along the line of a European and older guy, Lee Westwood. Somebody that was still chasing his first major. But he was like in the Masters in the mix, in the Players in the mix. He's played randomly well in some of these tournaments. He's also missed the cuts in some tournaments this year. So you never know, but I feel like he might be in the mix this weekend.
Westwood, I like that pick. He also played in the Scottish Open. He was in the lead for a little bit on Saturday. He collapsed back 9 on Saturday, but he was in the lead at 14 under for a short time there. Chase, what about you? Top 20 pick.
I love that Westwood pick. He's just solid as a rock in majors. I'm gonna have to go with Xander Schauffele as for top 20. I don't know. He swapped to an arm lock right before the U.S. Open. Didn't make anything coming down the stretch on Sunday when he needed to, but he's just been solid as a rock when it comes to major tournaments. So I think that a top 20 isn't out of the question, especially since he had a tied for second in 2018.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, he seems to be the kind of guy that is like right at the top of the hump. He hasn't gotten over it yet, but he's been super competitive at a lot of tournaments. I mean, he was right there in the U.S. Open. He wasn't able to close it out or kind of climb into the top 5 or top 3 or anything. He was my pick to win the U.S. Open. I thought it was a done deal with him at Torrey Pines being from California and everything. But I like Schauffele. His game translates to a lot of places. He's a kind of a under-the-radar guy. There's so many other guys in his age range that I think get a lot of the spotlight. So I do like that pick. My top 20 is going to be Matthew Fitzpatrick. He's almost like the Xander Schauffele of the European Tour, to be honest with you. He plays well a lot of times. He hasn't really been able to get over the hump. He did just play in the Scottish Open, was in the playoff, lost to Min Woo Lee in a playoff there. Would have been a nice payout for me. Had he won, that would have been great. But I'm going to go with him with the top 20. I do kind of favor the guys that have that 1 week experience there on the European Tour over there in England. So Fitzpatrick for a top 20. Kyle, what about you, a top 10?
Top 10, I'm going with another tried and true, one of my favorite golfers, Louis Oosthuizen. The only major he's won, of course, he's missed second place for a lot of these, but he has won the Open. I'm actually going to see if I can place a bet for him to get second on the dot, not win or top 5, but second. But no, again, just a consistent guy. I think the top 10 is not a stretch at all for him.
Yeah, no, honestly, a top 10, number 2 finish, probably better odds for him than like trying to place a top 10 finish. To be honest, he's probably more favored to finish second exactly.
It's either second or nothing.
Second or nothing. I like that. So yeah, two of those guys that were kind of very prominent in like the 2010s and stuff. You're taking with the top 20 and the top 10. Chase, top 10 for you.
I'm gonna go with his top 20 pick, Lee Westwood.
Westwood. We got Westwood with the top 10.
Yep. And I mean, Kyle hit everything right ahead. There's also to say he's a solid European player. He's been there. He's never won a major. He's also just right there, just runner up. So, and I'll go ahead and tell you my top 5 because that's. I mean, Kyle hit that one too. I'm gonna take Louis Oosthuizen.
My bad.
So,
I should have let you go first. So we got Westwood for a top 10 and Louis for a top 5 for you. So God, it'd be great to see either of them do well. Lee Westwood just looks like he's having the most fun he's ever had of his career. Like, he just looks like he's having fun.
I was going to say, Chase just has a little more confidence in those two than me.
Yeah.
You got him top 10, top 5.
Now, I might have to tail that and maybe get a bet down on Uwe for a top 5. For my top 10, I'm going to go with Jordan Spieth. I think he's going to be a guy that is kind of going unrecognized heading into it. He hasn't really been on the leaderboard recently, but he has played well. He's easily a top 5 player this season, at least by a lot of standards. He's finished 2nd, 18th, and 19th in his last three tournaments. So I'm going to go with Jordan Spieth. He's kind of put it together really nicely. And for Kyle, let's go your top 5 before I give mine.
Okay, I got Colin Morikawa, obviously. He's been finishing top 5, top 10 in some of the big tournaments this year. He's pretty consistent all around. So we'll see what happens. Didn't he win the Open? Or which major did he win before?
He won the PGA Championship when he dropped the lid.
That's right.
At Olympia Field.
Did you? What's up, Chase?
Oh, at Olympia Fields.
Yeah.
And,
which is actually kind of I was doing some research. Apparently, it's kind of nothing in America is comparable to what they're about to play, obviously. But I've heard Olympia Fields is kind of a good comparison as far as what the players can expect going into it. So that could bode well for him. Did either of you guys listen to the Morikawa interview on Part of My Take or Foreplay Pod with Barstool?
I listened to the PMC one.
That's so funny. I mean, the Foreplay Pod one, he definitely talked more like in depth about golf.
Right.
Part of My Take was obviously more just having fun with it and joking around. What's y'all's stance on that, actually? Polos or T-shirts on the golf course, or pants or shorts? What are the dress code restrictions for PGA Tour too strict, or do you guys like the pants requirement?
You can go, Jason.
I mean, you're playing down in the summer sling of Florida in the South. I mean, I think they should be allowed to wear shorts. I mean, I'm one. It's all about how you act on the golf course. It's about etiquette and not about appearance. So that's why I'm team hoodie as well.
Team hoodie. A light hoodie or an actual hoodie? Like a light dry fit hoodie?
Yeah, like a light dry fit hoodie. Just throw the hood up. It's winter time.
I like it. That seems like a Ricky Fowler type move, like a hoodie. Just
a lot of them have been wearing it. Rory and Colin, I think.
Oh, I do remember Rory wore that hoodie, that white hoodie. I like it. Yeah, shorts works for me. Morikawa said every time he plays, unless it's on TV, he's in T-shirts and shorts. So I think a lot of guys are probably like that. My top 5 is going to be Brooks Koepka. He's just in great form right now. I am concerned about his knee and the terrain and the stamina. We saw that affect him at the U.S. Open, but he's finished 2nd, 4th, and 5th in his last 3 of his last 4 tournaments. So he's in good form, and he's good off the tee. He's pretty consistent off the tee. I think that's going to play a big factor here. You don't want to get into trouble in some of that fescue long rough and that's where DeChambeau, that's where I think he's going to actually falter, is that those mishits are going to kind of add up, like you said earlier, Chase, about 4s turn into 5s pretty quickly when you're not thinking about it. So I'm going to go Koepka for a top 5 just because he turns it on when it's a major. He's a completely different animal. So, and then let's get to winners. Chase or Kyle? Who wants to go first? Who's going to steal whose pick?
You can go, Chase.
All right, I'll take it. I'm going to go with the guy that has been red hot this entire year, and that is Jon Rahm. Wait, let me guess. You got the same pick?
That's my winner, too.
All right, wait. Full disclosure, that's my winner as well.
Okay, so now he's definitely not winning.
You can't bet against him.
I know.
So pencil that in for a miscut.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Lock that in for an MC.
I was going to try to get creative, but he's been playing great. He just played at the Scottish Open, like you said. He missed some easy putts, so he probably could have shot lower. I'm not even like a huge Rahm guy. He's just been playing great. You can't deny it. And I didn't realize he's such a good putter, and then he's making these bombs like in clutch time.
Well, all right. So I like that.
In the U.S. Open?
Yeah.
So I have Rahm too. Again, the form, the Scottish Open. He's, got that experience a week ago in that terrain. He's just playing well. Since we all picked Rahm to win, who's maybe like a dark horse guy that you don't have top 20 or better that we think might win? I'll let Kyle kick it off if you have kind of a guy, the dark horse bet that you might take, someone that you might see take charge up the leaderboard.
Yeah, I just had a long shot of dark horse, Robert McIntyre, a.k.a. Bobby Mac.
No way.
Is that who you were going to pick? He's the Scotsman. He played last week. I think he tied for 12th in the Masters, and then also did well in the British Masters. Just a young gun, kind of in that next up category, and he's on the European Tour, knows that terrain and everything, so he's been playing well. He looks good.
Bobby Mack, I like it. He's only missed one cut this entire calendar year as well, so he's a pretty consistent player to at least get to the weekend, and he looks like he's 12. So he's got like the Zach Wilson syndrome. He looks extremely young. So Bobby Mack for Kyle for the sleeper. And Chase, any sleepers for you?
Mark Leishman and
Okay.
I'd probably say Patrick Cantlay. He's just been playing both those guys. Mark Leishman, he just happens to pop his head up in majors all the time. I happen to see his name in the back half of the top half of the leaderboard and the back half of the tee times for Sunday usually, and it just hasn't been able to be done. But this is a place that plays in. There's a lot of trickery around there. A lot of bad balances around this golf course. So, look for someone like Mark Leishman to be around on Sunday.
I like it. And you also mentioned Cantlay. Top 25 or better his last 4 tournaments, and he's top 10 in shots gained over the last 2 years combined. So Cantlay, another guy, if he can get hot at the right time. Another unknown guy, not a lot of people are going to talk about him, but his personality is like a drywall, but he might get the job done this week over there in England. I'm gonna go kind of tailing the European Tour style like Bobby McIntyre. He was a guy I kind of had circled. I'm going to go with Lucas Herbert. One, I would be surprised. What's up, Kyle? Herbe. Justin's cousin.
Yeah.
Lucas Herbert. He is he top 20 last 2 PGA events when he played here in America. But more so, 2 weeks ago in England or on the European Tour, finished first in the Irish Open, 4th in the Scottish Open. So he's in great form for being a guy that not a lot of people are talking about. I'm going to go with Lucas Herbe. Or I'll say this, kind of like Cantlay, I'm going to go Scotty Scheffler as another guy to kind of keep an eye on. Just played in the Scottish Open. Didn't close the way he would have wanted to, but he played well enough to kind of keep me hopeful for what he might be able to do this week at the Open Championship. So, guys, anything else from you? Any bold predictions? Anything else before we hang it up for episode 99?
I'm just surprised no one took the defending champion Shane Lowry to make any kind of moves or anything.
Yeah, he's an interesting one to watch. He always seems to be in contention. There's always that kind of guy, though. It's like the Shane Lowry. Maybe he'll be a top 20 pick.
Yeah, I had him kind of as like a top 20, maybe kind of in that Stanley Westwood realm.
Well, all right.
But he won.
So this is an interesting question for you guys because no one's really separated themselves. Top Englishman on home turf. Who's going to be the top Englishman? I mean, you have Fitzpatrick, Tyrrell Hatton, Ian Poulter, Paul Casey. Who do you guys think is going to be top Englishman? I mean, that's a pretty good Olympic foursome right there.
I was probably going to say Paul Casey.
Paul Casey?
Yep.
I had, man, you guys are on the same brain wavelength right now.
Seriously.
Paul Casey and Fitzpatrick, I scratched them out 2 times for my top 20. I wasn't sure which one to go with. Paul Casey, that veteran experience might actually play out for him a little bit better. So, well, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun tournament to watch. I know I'm definitely looking forward to it. Pooch crew out there, if you're looking for more golf content, obviously always stay in touch with the podcast on Instagram, YouTube, any podcast streaming platform. We'll put out some episodes for the big tournaments. We try and get out there for the Masters, US Open, PGA, and the Open Championship as well, TPC, all that fun stuff. And Chase, Kyle, thank you both again for being here. Looking forward to kind of keeping this updated throughout the weekend. Hopefully Sunday around 2 o'clock, John Rahm is hoisting the trophy for all of us. That'd be kind of fun. So anyways, guys, thanks for being here. And Pooj Crew, again, go follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, subscribe, like the video, share the video. If you like the content, please help us grow the channel. We have a lot of fun with this, and there'll be more content, plenty more content to come throughout the summer as football season approaches. We'll have baseball talk, basketball talk. Obviously, we've done hockey in the past, and football's coming up. That's where we make our bread and butter right there with football. So we're looking forward to it, and going to be a fun weekend of sports in general. Home Run Derby tonight, so when you're listening to this, someone's already won the Home Run Derby. Is it going to be Shohei Ohtani? Who knows? That'll be fun to watch this evening. But until next time, go enjoy the rest of your week. Go enjoy the Open Championship, or the British Open, whatever you prefer to call it. And most importantly, go make this world a better place, and take care.